The islands of Fiji in the South Pacific are being battered by the strongest storm ever recorded there. Cyclone Winston is the equivalent of a Category 5 hurricane with wind speeds of 325 kilometres an hour. More now on the state of emergency from Caroline Malone.
Racing to get out of the way of Cyclone Winston, the strongest storm on record to hit Fiji. It's been battering the outer eastern island of Tavi-Ini with high winds and heavy rain. A nationwide curfew was imposed at 6 p.m. local time. Many islanders opted to stay at home rather than go to government shelters. But many buildings are flimsy and may not withstand such powerful winds.
The volunteers of Fiji Red Cross, with the support of the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, have been constantly in contact with the communities where the anticipation of the highly likely places where the cyclone might hit, the communities are well prepared.
Rough seas across a wide area are also endangering boats and ships. Fiji is an archipelago of more than 300 low-lying islands, prone to sea surges and flash flooding. This massive storm is slow-moving and likely to dump lots of rain on land, destroying crops. Water was already crashing over the sea wall in the capital Suva earlier in the day. Further along the coast at Pacific Harbour, Spain's national rugby sevens team helped their resort create a sandbag barrier to limit damage.
Yeah, we're scared.
People living in Nadi, the third largest city in Fiji, have prepared as best they can.
Most of the shops are closed. They already stock up their stuff as well. There's big queues on the ATM because locals are getting all the cash they can from the bank.
But there's only so much islanders can do to prepare for such a massive storm, bringing its full force to some of the most populated parts of Fiji overnight. Caroline Malone, Al Jazeera.
Well, let's hear more about Cyclone Winston with our weather presenter, Richard Angwin. Tell us a little bit about the path that this cyclone's taken and when these poor people of Fiji can get some respite from it.
Well, if you want the path, Laura, how long have you got? Because this thing's been going for days and days and days. It's just meandered all the way around the South Pacific. Tonga has felt its effects twice, not as bad as Fiji, but nevertheless they've seen it. So it is meandering very slowly across the South Pacific. Now, as things stand at the moment, it has made landfall across the sort of northern point of the main island of Fiji. There you can see it. We've lost the sort of eye wall in the centre just as it moves over Fiji, an indication that sort of interacted with land, and it is weakening, but only fractionally. I mean, the reason it is such a powerful storm is that we have got very warm waters across this part of the Pacific. We're back to our old friend El Nino. The sea temperature is about 31 degrees. That's about 1.5 degrees above normal. In addition, the winds up through the atmosphere, the wind shear as we call it, that's all just set up for this development. And it's formed what we call an annular cyclone. So it looks like a donut, the central eye wall, but no bands spreading out, just one big round system. And the point is that those tend to be more persistent. This is going to be a persistent system, but it's heading out into the Pacific away from harm. Fiji has seen some severe cyclones in the past. Evan was the most recent one. That got up to a Category 4, but this blasts the rest of them out of the water. This is really something truly exceptional. Sustained winds is guesswork at this stage because you're not going to get an anemometer reading from anywhere. So sustained winds anywhere between about 230, 260 kph and gusts of certainly in excess of 300 kph. But one of the key things is the movement. It's heading west and it's going at 26 kph. Wish it was going faster, but it's going fast enough to take it away in the next few hours. So I think the worst is probably just about now or in the next 2 to 3 hours, and then things begin to improve. Having said that, vast amounts of rain are going to be coming down over the next 24 hours. We could well see some flash flooding, and with Fiji being mountainous areas, there could be some mudslides.
Richard, thanks very much. Well, that's the view from Richard as to what Cyclone Winston's like. Let's get an idea of now what it actually feels like to be in this cyclone. We can speak to we're joined from Suva by the journalist Natani Rika, and we can speak there to him. Natani, tell us, is the cyclone weakening at all, or what's it like there now?
Well, I'm in the capital, which is about 200 kilometers from the eye, and wind has started to die down, and the rain has started to ease. We are told that Winston is now heading out to sea, and the worst for our area is pretty much over. But I think it won't be until the sun is up in the morning before we are able to see the extent of devastation left by this Category 5 storm.
Now, the government has said that evacuation centres have been operational. Did you go to one of these, or did you ride this out in your own home?
We had to ride this out at home. There are 758 evacuation centres open across Fiji, but there is a nationwide curfew in place, has been in place for the last 7 hours now, and will remain in place until police give the all clear. Once the emergency services people say that it's safe to move about, and that should be perhaps in another 5 to 6 hours.
What's it like staying in your own home and hearing and feeling these winds battering the walls and the roofs?
I suppose living in the tropics, you get used to it after a while, but this one has been pretty bad. We've lost branches, lost smaller trees, and we can see that some homes have lost roofs, or smaller structures have been blown down. It can be pretty frightening, but for those who are in the direct path of WINSTON, it has been a very an experience that they wouldn't want to go through again. And we have reports that there has been some destruction to homes across the Fiji group, and perhaps one death after the house perhaps got a net.
OK, Natani, Rika, thank you very much for bringing us the latest there from what's happening in the Fijian capital, Suva, as Cyclone Winston sweeps through the island. We'll leave you to ride out the rest of that storm, which we are told should be over, or the worst should be over, in a few hours' time.